Hello everyone. The purpose of this video is to just show you how you're going to upload your pre-test this week for the students. I want to start with the login just because it's really important that you log in with your school Gmail account, because if you don't get access to all of our corporate features that we have with the purchase version of Edulastic. So when you go to the login page, make sure you're signing in with Google, which is this first option here. When you click on it, you'll be prompted to choose the Gmail account that you want to log in with. Yours is going to be the Manor Hall School account. That way, any test that's been created within your departments or within the school, everybody that logs in with their school email has access to this, okay? Now, in order to assign your test, what you're going to do is go to the tests. And if you've not already created your test, you can search through the entire library, which is this first tab here. But if you've made your test and you didn't assign it yet, you only saved it, if you click the authored by me, any test that you've created, including your pre-test, will be in this area. So right here is my grade 11 pre-test. So you click on the test you want to assign and you hit assign. Now, when you're assigning your tests, you're given a lot of options. First thing you're going to want to do is choose the class you want to assign this to. I want to assign this to English 11. Now, these classes are coming from your Google Classroom, and in a couple minutes, I'll show you how to sync those things. But click the class you want to assign it to. The students, it's just automatically select all. And then you're going to choose the day and the time you want to assign it. My benchmark for grade 11, the pre-test for grade 11 is happening on Monday at 9 a.m. So I'm going to go ahead and change this to 9 a.m. so that my test will automatically open at that time for students to access. Now, in addition to the open time, I want to set the closing time. The closing time for my test is Monday at 11 a.m. Now, the open policy, I keep mine, it automatically opens on start date and automatically closes on the date and time that I give, just so that I know that students have only taken the test in that period. They haven't cheated from somebody else that took it earlier and then screenshot it or whatever. Now, you're also going to want to click the Override Test Settings button just to double check that everything here is what you want it to be. Release scores in particular is something you're going to need to check. You should, if you click on this, select Do Not Release Scores or Responses. In the future, you can choose to release scores right away. You can release just the scores, you can release the scores with what the students wrote, or you can release the scores, what students wrote or answered, and their correct answers. I never release the scores just because I teach the same course multiple times in a day, and they will cheat if I give them the opportunity to. And that is most important for through here. This isn't a time test. You set your opening closing dates. Now just hit the assign button in the upper right corner, and it will assign the test for those kids. Now students can access this test once you hit assign and it's open if they log into Edulastic. Now some of our kids might not know how to do that. So what you should do is, if you go down here, it says URL to share, just hit copy and then go to your Google Classroom. And just send them a message. So here's the link for your pre-test today. And I know I put today. I'll show you how to set the timer for this also. And don't post it right now. Just click this arrow and hit schedule. And I'm going to schedule this for Monday at 8 a.m. is fine. If you want to do it closer to the test, 8:30, 8:45, that's fine. and just schedule. So that way on the day of the test, they can log into Google Classroom, which they should have already joined, and then the link will pop. They should click it, pop up, they click it, and they'll have access to the test. Now, once you get your Google Classroom set up and there are students in them, there's another way to share this in addition to them just logging into Edulastic and in addition to you sharing the link with them. And that is, you can click, it says share with Google Classroom. You click this and it will automatically sync. Now, right now I'm getting an error, and I'm getting an error because there are no students in my Google Classroom at this time. Now, once you have students in your Google Classroom, that will automatically, it'll post not quite the URL, it'll post like a button in Google Classroom that they can click that takes them to the test. Now, that's assigning your test. We're going to go on to how do I sync my Google Classrooms. So if we go to this sidebar on the left and hit Manage Class, you will see I have classes already here, but in order to get them here, you hit the button in the top right corner, it says Sync with Google Classroom. If you click on this and you select which account your Google Classroom's on, should be your school account, you'll get another screen that has all of the classes that are in your Google Classroom. As you can see, 4 of mine are in the gray. That's because these are already uploaded to Google Classroom. So you click the classes you want, and then you'll hit import. Again, I don't want this class, but once you hit import, it might take a couple minutes, but it will load all of your classes into Edulastic. If you have synced Edulastic with Google Classroom before your students are in Google Classroom, then your students will not show up. For example, if I click English 11 as of right now, I have no students in my class. But if I go to my actual Google Classroom, if somebody is accepted, I have some kids that have accepted my invitation to Google Classroom. So in order to get those kids to show up, you click on the class like I did, which brings you to this page. And then again, this Sync with Google Classroom button shows up. If I click this and the code is already entered and I hit Sync, it will sync specifically with that class, and you have to do this by class. It's just a fault with the system, and it'll automatically upload any student that has accepted your invitation or that has since joined your Google Classroom with the code. Okay, so again, it's really important that you're using your school emails, and also if you've already synced with Google Classroom to get your classes in here, but there were no students, before your test, you should click on each individual class and sync with that class. If you want to just wait, if you haven't synced your Edulastic with Google Classroom and you want to wait until, let's say 8:45 the day your test is, or I would say even 8:45 on Sunday, and then sync everything, you'll be good to go. Okay, so I hope this video was helpful for you. If you have any questions, please reach out to me with my email. It's attached to this video. All right, have a good day.